I'm the one that God has shown mercy. My name is Ogane Kume. I'm recording this testimony from Birmingham City here in the United Kingdom. It all started on the 19th of June 2024 when I put my baby to sleep on my chest. I noticed her breathing was fast. I was worried. By morning, I took her to the GP. The GP checked on her and said she's got a little bit of tonsillitis, and also because she's an active baby. But because I had concerns, I had to refer us to A&E to sit in City Hospital here in Birmingham. When we got there, they checked on her. They didn't say anything different from what the GP had said. The Holy Spirit just put in me to tell them if I could put her to sleep so they would check, because I was worried. I did put her to sleep. They checked on her, and they actually saw that the breathing was fast while in her sleep. Immediately, they took us in the ward. We got in the ward. They checked on her. They did X-ray, they did echo, they did scan, and they said there's fluid in her lungs. The muscle that is pumping the heart is weak, and they started administering medication. By 21st of June, being the next day, my baby just went from 100 to 0. She was really weak, and they came and said she was not responding, that they needed to take us to a specialist hospital. By 10 p.m., that's on 21st of June, the ambulance came and they were having a word with me, telling me that they're taking me to the specialist hospital. My baby's condition is really bad and she may not survive before we get there. I rebuked it, I prayed, and we got in the ambulance and went to Birmingham Children's Hospital. Immediately we got there, they checked on her. They said that her condition was really bad and they needed to do an emergency surgery. I need to sign. The surgery could affect her brain. She could lose her memory. A lot of negative things, 50-50. She could even die. I rebuked it. I was praying. I signed the document. I put one phone by her bedside playing NSPD morning prayer. I held onto my other phone and I was praying as well. I signed and I did the surgery, but it was a really terrible sight because they had to put her on ECLS machine. The ECLS machine does the function of the heart while the heart is being put to rest. So she had a lot of pipes connected to her heart. Her chest was cut open. It was a scary sight. So I didn't stop praying. I was praying on the 27th of June while on morning NSPD. Papa said, I don't know why we are starting like this. This situation is not unto death. This sickness is not unto death. I announce this situation will not get to us.
I don't know why we're starting like this. But somebody turn and say this sickness, say it's not unto death. Say I announce this situation will not get worse than it is. Say I announce it will not get worse. I announce every situation, every condition that is negative, here and there, you will not get worse. From now, you get better.
By 2nd of July, Papa was praying. Papa said, Lord interrupted me to make this declaration. Bad news will not be waiting for you in this second half.
The Lord just interrupted me to make this declaration. As your two hands are lifted, bad news will not be waiting for you in second half.
I prayed with it, and he went further and said, systolic heart failure.
Systolic heart failure. How by the power that raises from the dead, let it be reversed.
I don't even know what systolic heart failure is, but I know there is heart failure. I prayed with it, and he went further and said, I don't know who you are, but that heart surgery has been cancelled.
I don't know who you are, but that heart surgery has been cancelled.
All this prayer was on July 6th. By 4th of July, when we were on the morning NSPD prayer, Papa said, the Lord says I should tell you, why are you entertaining that thought of fear? That thought and fear that you will die prematurely. Don't ever give room. I do not speak as a man, I speak as an oracle of God. Premature death will not come near you. You will not die premature.
That Lord said I should tell you, why are you entertaining that thought and fear that you will die prematurely? The Lord said, why? I come to you with the word of don't ever give room. I do not speak as a man, I speak as the oracle of God. Premature death will not come near you.
I spoke to my daughter, she will not die prematurely. And after that prayer, I was so calm in my soul, because even my friend called me and she said, did you hear this prayer of this morning? It was directed at, I said yes, and I claimed it. So I had this conviction in my soul that my daughter's case has been measured and she is healed. After the prayer, when the doctors were doing morning round, one of the doctors called me and she said, Mom, we noticed that we've checked your daughter and her heart is not apparently she cannot be on this machine for more than 14 days, that the machine can only serve for 14 days. And because the heart is not responding, that we have been booked for a heart transplant. And this heart, and then in the heart transplant, she has to be taken to another machine, a VAD machine. And that VAD machine is only available in 2 places in the United Kingdom, London and in Newcastle. And they have booked with the Newcastle team, and they are already here in Birmingham to have a word with me. That was 4th of July. And I rebuked it. I said, God is giving my daughter a new heart. I left her and I went to the chapel close to the ICU to go and pray. And I was praying, I was crying. Wasn't not the Papa I was talking to when he said that heart surgery has been cancelled? Papa saw it even before this day. And that heart surgery has been cancelled. And I prayed with it. And he said that journey of negativity has been terminated. Me going to Newcastle, that's the journey of negativity. I prayed as well. And I was saying all those prayers were directed at me. Was not the part I was talking to when he said journey of negativity, that bad news will not be awaiting for me in the second part of the year. Because I was part of that mid-year fast. I was fasting. And that particular day I was still fasting. It wasn't long after the Newcastle team, they came to have a word with me, and they were myself, my friend and her husband who were in the meeting. While we were all discussing, my spirit was just echoing that heart surgery has been cancelled, journey of negativity has been terminated, systolic heart failure, my daughter's heart come alive. All the prayer Papa was saying, they were all coming. I was memorizing them in my head. I wasn't even listening to what they were saying. And by the time they finished the meeting, my friend's husband was asking them questions. They were having the conversation, and I said, "Mom, don't you have any question?" I said, "No." It looked like in all this conversation, how is it possible that you don't have anything to say? And I said, "Don't you have anything to say?" After I said, "Well, the only thing I have to say is, Dr. Allison, I'm happy to meet you. Dr. Fiona has said you're a very good person. I'm not in doubt, but I'm sorry to say myself and my daughter were not coming to Newcastle." I said, "You know why? God is giving her a new heart." This was the 12th day in the machine. So she has just 2 days to be in that machine before we're taking to Newcastle. And all this decision has to be made before on the 14th. We have to journey to the 14th day. It means we have to go to Newcastle either today night. And I'm not joining that journey of negativity. I said, so my evidence is today. And I prayed. It wasn't long after the doctors, they came and they said they needed to check my daughter, that it's a normal procedure they have to do before we journey to Newcastle. And because they also said I needed a family member to go with me, I have to make preparations. So because all these plans, I have to make that plan that very day. All these plans have to be made on the 13th day on the ECLS machine. That was on the 5th of July 2024. Lo and behold, what I said to the doctor, I said, what you saw before, you will not see again. They looked at me, it sounded crazy. They left me and they were doing their scan. Immediately they were doing their scan, there were like 5 doctors. I heard one of them whisper, "I think her heart is beating. I think her heart is beating." The other was, "Are you sure? It's not the machine I explained up already." They checked and they came and they met with me and said, "Mom, we noticed the heartbeat. We would like to take your daughter off the machine for 2 minutes to be sure that it's not the machine that explained." I told them, it's not the machine that explained. My daughter's heart, God gave her a new heart yesterday, being the 4th of July. Today I'm having my evidence. And he looked at me. I sounded crazy to them, and they went and they checked. They took her off the machine for 2 minutes. It was my daughter's heart. Lo and behold, I was shouting, what God cannot do does not exist. What God cannot do does not exist. The minute I got up, one of the doctors looked at me and gave me a hug and said, "Mom, whatever you are doing is working. Don't stop." I ran to the chapel. Pastor Jerry would say, "How will you shout?" I shouted. I needed my throat to bring out that same blood. It brought out that on the 4th when I was crying. I said, this throat has to tear again. I was shouting. I needed to shout. I went to the chapel. I shouted. I thank God. Lo and behold, my daughter's heart that was dead came back to life. The journey of negativity was terminated. Papa, I have my evidence. This is the letter. So God be the glory. She got a new heart. I have my evidence. What God cannot do does not exist. This is the child that said they needed a heart transplant. This is the child. No heart transplant. She came out of the ICU, nothing missing, nothing broken. Pastor Jerry, thank you. May the oil on your head never run dry. I want to say God bless you.